Welcome out to this episode of Escape Pod. Hey, everybody. Hi, Tony.
Hey.
Deandra, Logan.
Hey.
Yes, we are here, and I'm behind the console, so that's me over here.
Hello, Captain.
Hello. So you can hear me a lot. You won't see me that often, but these guys have a lot of opinions that we need to talk about.
A lot of them.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, welcome out to this episode of Escape Pod, and we are talking about, yes, the one, the only, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. This is a spoiler episode, so we will be discussing the movie in great detail, talking about our opinions, what we thought, and blowing everything up, talking about everything and all the surprises and all the cool stuff that we saw, and yeah, we just got out of the theater, so we're pretty pumped about it. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about it. So you've been warned, and it's going to be on the screen saying spoiler review the whole time.
So hit pause, go watch the movie, and come back.
And come back and see
us. Just leave it up, you know.
Yeah. So okay, wow. Whee.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't watch any previews for this really, and I didn't really have any type of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Just my mind's blown.
I watched the first trailer, and I believe that's about it, because I was like, I don't want to be spoiled by anything else. Like, I was like, I've seen enough. All right, they've got my interest.
I was forced to watch the first trailer 9 times by Mr. Abrams.
9 times?
You texted it to me every day for like a week and a half.
I don't think that's true, Tony.
I do.
It was true.
Trailer analyzing.
He didn't have to watch it, but
He did have to receive it
He
9
did.
times.
that's what she said.
Okay.
Yay.
It's all right. So how did the movie even start? I don't remember now.
It is, I know, it feels like it's so long ago. Wow. So it started with a crawl,
No
way. Yeah.
which is last time teary-eyed. We'll see the crawl anytime soon.
Because it started with the crawl. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and it started talking about the big thing I took away from it was Kylo's.
It started with the scenes with Kylo starting to explore for
He's looking
the
for the Emperor.
Wayfinder.
Yeah, he's looking for the Emperor because the Emperor has made himself known for the broadcast
Right.
across the galaxy, and then that pissed him off. So he's like, ain't nobody taking my stuff.
Yep.
That's right. Because Kylo Ren currently runs the First Order. Okay. Right.
Yep.
So
Oh, sweet baby, angry Kylo.
Yeah, he
Sweet baby.
he gets a little upset.
just a little bit.
I just love Adam Driver. He does so great. He plays the emo Kylo Ren to a T.
Yes.
He's so oof.
Yeah. No, you're right. He I mean, he's a great actor, and you know
But he kept a shirt on this time, though.
he did.
I mean, he didn't have to.
We a little later in the movie, you know, we got that one little hole. It's like a little tease.
Yeah, but not there's nipple.
Yes.
Wait, what's this little hole you're talking about
Like
here?
the hole in the side.
Whoa, Logan, slow your roll. Oh my goodness, too funny. But yeah, it started. I mean, it jumped right in. So, I mean, let's talk about the whole Emperor and the Sith. And I mean, basically, it's like, hello, it's here.
Yeah, it jumped right into that. It didn't. There wasn't a build up or anything. It was just here's the Emperor.
Like, it was
Here's
just-
Palpatine.
It was just in the crawl too. Like, oh, there's a message out. Okay, cool. Here's Kylo going to look for him. There he is. Like,
Yeah.
what was it, like the first 10 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, I also love the little explanation of Sith knowledge. That's how all this was done. Hidden Sith knowledge. That's how he came back from the dead.
Yeah.
We're not going to explain it because it's hidden Sith knowledge, and you don't need to know it.
You don't need to know that.
And he was very Hellraiser looking with the little mechanical thing propping him up.
His whole zombie face.
With the blind eyes.
And I was like,
Oh,
if I was
so
if I was a
freaking
kid, I
cool.
would be genuinely scared right now.
Yeah, it was some wicked stuff.
He so zombie looking, and it's did they show his creepy bone fingers
They-
in the beginning?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Old
Yeah.
skeleton hand, take my strong hand.
And that was, I mean, because that was when he was using that on Luke at the the end of what episode?
Episode 6.
6.
97.
Yeah. So 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's his fingers were blown out from that, and then
Good old Return of the Jedi.
good old Return of the Jedi. Oh, well, let's get the one thing out of the room that Tony was so happy about that I caught in my peripheral.
There's fucking Ewoks again.
There are Ewoks in the movie. Sorry, I just had to get there. We'll get to how they were there, but yeah, there are Ewoks in the
They
movie.
saved the day like always.
At least you didn't get to hear the Nub Nub song or whatever it was called.
Oh, you don't like that song?
Not, but yeah, it's great.
That was one of 3 things that really like
Made it for you?
nerded me out.
Yeah. So, the Emperor he's just using Kylo Ren.
Right.
He knows he's just using Kylo. I just thought Kylo would be smarter than that. Or maybe that was Kylo's plan all along, too. I don't know. So many thoughts through my head. So many plot lines you could go through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he thought he was, let's face it, the shit, and then he wanted Rey either by his side
Yeah.
or
Dead.
dead.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
Emperor's always been the great manipulator, though.
That's
so.
true.
Always. And from the first movie, where supposedly he, was the reason that, that the midichlorians were so high and young Anakin Skywalker. So
Who? The Emperor?
Yeah.
Did he create Anakin? I forget.
With the Sith's whole plot thing that was there,
Gotcha.
once he was, because he was born from, fatherless.
Midichlorians.
Right, exactly. So
So he was Jesus.
He's a science baby. He's Sith knowledge science baby.
there you go. There you go. And we got a lot of Sith. They said the word like 50 times in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was all about the Sith.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of the movie, when the Emperor goes ahead and gifts Kylo the Final Order fleet, which is how many ships do you think?
Oh shit, that was
He just
hard.
Yeah,
broke
there's
them all
just-
out of the ground.
They came
Surprise!
up.
Here they are.
Yeah, I think they came out of water. I think weren't they? Was that water or no?
That looked more like it was solid Earth. Just
Yeah, I thought
Right.
Breaking
the way
and
it
parting.
cracked, unless it was ice.
Yeah, could have been.
That's
There
the
you
other
go.
only.
It was-
But at the end of the movie, they were on the ground, so it was ground.
Yeah, you're right.
It was icy water, and they were built underwater. So this is going to lead to a conspiracy that a lot of people have always had, that Jar Jar was always a Sith. That's how all those things were built underwater, because all the Gungans run to their
Gungans
building.
did it.
Solved it. Solved it.
Hang on, let me get this camera shot.
This is what he has to put up with.
Just saying, the conspiracy is true.
Now, what was your first thought when we got in the theater and you're taking your jacket off in front of all these Star Wars fans, and you said what about Star Trek?
Oh, I was just said I can't wait till the rise of Starfleet.
No, you said I can't wait till Spock shows
Oh
up.
yeah, Spock.
Yeah, and there was 2 or 3 people around going, this guy doesn't know Star Wars, and I'm like, he was a joke.
Good.
Yeah, they were just a little too anal, some of them.
Yeah.
But man, we got to see it at the Malco Cinema Grill, the new theater in Owensboro. Fantastic. And on the huge 72-foot tall screen, MXT, I believe that's
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah.
Man, that was awesome.
Deafening sound.
Yeah, exactly.
The sound was crazy.
It was so good.
Thanks, Camilla, for the heads up on getting those tickets so we could get them right away and get great seats. I thought we had good seats.
Yeah,
It,
I mean,
it
yeah.
was loud, but
Mhm.
man. And that was the first time I ever seen any movie in that particular screening, and that was,
But
Awesome.
the
Yeah, I've
sound
never
wasn't-
seen like MXT or IMAX before, so
yeah.
Yeah, the sound was awesome though, because there's sometimes where there's crazy action movies like that, and then when it goes to dialogue, everybody starts talking real quiet, and you can't figure out what the hell they're saying, and then all of a sudden it gets extremely loud when the action happens.
I also think
Right.
this is probably like one of the highest caliber of editing in a film there could possibly be, so that's probably
Yeah.
why the sound was so incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what about the music? I mean, there was so much
it
Incredible.
always
woven.
kicked in at just the right time.
And it was always the original theme song, just switched up a little bit. I don't know if that was just in my mind or not.
No,
but it
I-
No,
seemed
that
like it
happened a
was-
lot.
Yeah.
It was like slowed up and then an octave or 2 different, and then I was like, okay,
They would
it's-
they would blend so many melodies together, and
Yeah.
it still stayed so cohesive and emotional.
Yeah, and there was like music from episode 1, with the vocals.
Yeah.
That was the big key fight scene music, for Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, and that was woven in certain parts. I was just like,
What was it? Duel of the Fates? I
Duel of the
think?
Fates. That's
Yeah.
it, exactly. Man, that was pretty sweet. I liked it
I
a lot.
900 years old, you reach look as good you will not.
I thought Rey spinning all those stones around it's no big deal.
Yeah, wow. I mean, show how powerful she was when she was just in her little element. So
Yeah, it just makes me think back to when Luke was learning and with Yoda and him struggling so hard, and it just cuts to Rey just basically Avatar state, spinning,
Yeah, that's a good.
spinning rocks around herself.
that's exactly what it reminded me of, was Avatar.
Yeah,
And just
just earthbending everything around her.
yeah, that was
Trying
amazing.
to connect with what all of the previous Jedi and not being able to.
Yeah. So during that part
Yeah.
is when we got to see the first look at Leia.
Yes.
Carrie Fisher. And what'd you guys think?
I feel their entire CGI budget went into her. They realized they could not mess that up.
I also think that they took previous footage.
They did.
And used it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
know they said they would do that, but like you could, even though it was very well done, you could tell which scenes they used previous footage just because like eye levels weren't matching up.
Yeah, I
and
noticed
that
at
kind of
one
stuff. Yeah.
point she was talking to somebody that was almost eye level with her.
And it's like she was
yeah,
like looking
she was
up
looking
like
at
this.
their forehead for some reason. That was the only thing I noticed, just that one
Yeah.
time.
It was extremely well done though.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. And in the CGI, I mean, as far as the putting the two images together, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, but there actually was a couple of
I think there were some scenes shot that they actually used for this filmed for this one.
Yeah, well, I think it was actually footage that they shot for, because she wasn't around at all for the new
No,
movie.
not at all.
So basically, it was scenes that they didn't use in
The Last Jedi.
in
Oh.
JJ's movie,
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
There were scenes that I mean, when the Blu-ray and the DVD comes out, I'll be watching all that behind-the-scenes shit, exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff. But they did do at least 2 scenes that were, especially when they showed like young Luke and young Leia training, when he was training her,
Yeah.
which we never ever saw,
Nope.
never really even heard about.
Nope. I was wondering
And-
if I had missed something, and I was going to ask you all that.
Yeah.
I thought that was the big, spoiler about the last movie is that Leia knew the Force.
Yeah.
So why is it just now? I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
confused
well,
as to why is it just now coming up that she also trained to be a Jedi and was like, you know what, fam, I'm good.
And that's probably why. That was how they were able to do it, is because nobody really knew she was
Yeah.
training to be
And,
a Jedi, because they kept it to them. And then when she refused to do it or didn't want to go on with her training, then she was able to. No one needed to know because,
She decided not to do it.
right.
Yeah, but that's kind of an asshole move not to use those powers in previous times to help people out.
Is it though?
I mean, if she's gonna they're gonna die, and all I gotta do is go, whoop, you're okay.
I mean, maybe she knows that her powers didn't lie in using the Force in that way, but using it in to feel and read people for political reasons.
And also too,
I'm saying,
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
that
I mean,
makes
she
sense.
recruited a lot of rebels
That's true. Yeah.
as a general. You know.
yeah.
So she did you're joining the resistance.
I mean, not necessarily. But
But I know what you're talking
I
about.
feel like
Yes.
people who have the ability to feel the Force also feel more empathy, and I think Leia used that as a strong point.
Sure, and knew who
Knew-
she could go to and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I understand you're struggling. Come with us."
She could feel or read people. I feel better than that's how. I feel like that's how they tried to portray her use of the Force, other than being a Jedi.
I mean, like in like previous expanded universes too, like they've had like Jedis that had like abilities called battle meditation, where they could kind of sway the morale of a battle as well, like through just will, like empower their troops, stuff like that. So it could be something subtle like that she could do.
But Disney said those books aren't canon anymore.
Well, I don't care. They've been slowly pulling stuff back in.
They have been.
Yeah,
they slowly
do.
have been, and that was from.
I think they're just using it as fodder to pull from, and what they want to pull, they can, kind of thing.
This is me reaching and hoping for something Knights of the Old Republic. 'Cause that's what that's from.
And I hope they do that. But I tell you, if they do that, I'm hoping that if they do that,
If they continue to go in that direction.
then no, I like doo better. Then I'm just kidding. No, settle down. Then I think it'd be better as a TV series.
Well, everybody's hyped up on The Mandalorian because you can expand so much more, which I haven't seen yet. Please don't ruin
We
it.
won't.
Same.
No,
I haven't seen
won't
it
say.
either.
I'm waiting
won't say
till it's
anything.
over to watch it all in binge.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. The 27th of December, Friday is the last day. That's when the last episode comes
I'll
out.
watch them all on the 20th.
Are you just not opening your phone at all then? Because it's everywhere.
It is everywhere, but you learn how to.
All I see is
when you see things,
Don't say it,
you just scroll.
because she hadn't said it.
I haven't seen anything. Don't. Blah, blah, blah. I know there's
No,
a
no.
Baby Yoda. That's all I know.
Okay, all right.
I've seen memes of that. That's all I've
That's
seen.
all I've seen is Baby Yoda memes. But I don't read them. I just scroll past his little face.
Like, oh, you're cute. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. We ordered a Baby Yoda for the studio.
I also heard that the Mandalorian is very sexy. That his body language is sexy.
Could be.
It's Oberyn Martell, so it doesn't matter. He's sexy.
Is that the actor's name? No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's his name.
No,
but
it's not
That's
his
how
name.
I know
That's
it.
his character
You
name.
raped her. You murdered her.
Yeah. You little Yoda. No, I'm just,
Oh my god.
just kidding.
So anyway,
So
back
anyway,
to the movie.
Freshie movies. Oh my God! So the movie was fantastic.
So she's then going through training. She
Yeah,
said, Leia,
yeah.
I'm not doing good connecting. I'm going to go do training. And then sexy man Kylo mind communicates. Hey, girl,
Yeah.
just checking in. What you doing? You up?
Oh wow!
And she's like,
Netflix and chill. Ooh Lord. Yeah. They did.
is that the one? No, that's not. Which one? What did they talk about? Because they communicated several times throughout the movie. What was the first one? Because they see each other, right? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like I said, they communicated several
I
times.
know. I got to see this movie again for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, there was just so much that I just kept getting more
Well,
and more
it's-
excited.
I think he was just getting her back on the hook. Like, you
Right.
didn't. This is the
Yeah,
part where
yeah.
he said, "You didn't take my hand.
Yes.
Next time,
Next
you know,
time you will."
Yeah. And then that really got her off her game,
Yeah.
because then she was like,
And she went a
She
little
couldn't-
nuts
yeah.
trying to do the
Yeah,
training course.
She's got that Sith anger.
The little ball tripped her up and then it pissed her off.
Yeah, because
Yep.
he got in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then she was like, telling him, I gotta go clear my head, a la Luke taking off.
Yeah, where did she go? I don't remember.
She went to the planet where Luke was. Remember?
I think
That
that,
was
was
later on,
later.
wasn't
That was
Yeah,
later
that was
on.
a little later.
Okay, so she goes through training. Kylo throws her off. Jump.
Well,
I promise you, we just watched
she's-
this movie.
Yeah.
we really did.
She's. It cuts back to them going and getting the intel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 'cause they go and get the intel from their
there's
spy.
There's a spy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and BB-8's trying to download it, and the TIE fighters show up.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
they fly to...
Yeah, Poe and Finn are basically trying to get out of there, and then
They lightspeed jump.
yeah, they
Yep.
He
A
risked,
bunch.
he
Light
risked the
speed.
Falcon and lightspeed jump.
Yeah.
Lightspeed
like 4
skip
times.
is what they called it because they kept jumping in and out of hyperspace.
Yeah. And then they eventually get to where... Back
Ray is.
to home base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ray
With
asks,
it on fire.
Yeah, Ray asks, like, what'd you do to my ship? And he says, what did you do to BB-8?
Hey, what did you do to my
Drop the tree on
droid?
him, no big deal. What did you do to my ship?
And the humor between her and Oscar Isaac, you are a difficult man.
Yeah.
I
That
love
was
it.
good.
I love all three of their little being able to play off each other kind of thing. I
And
wonder
I-
if any of it is improvised
I thought there was going to be a relationship between those two.
between
thought-
Finn and Ray,
Between
Oscar Isaac and
yeah,
Finn.
Poe.
yeah, Poe and Ray. Yeah, I thought that was.
Oh, you thought Poe and Ray?
That's what I thought. Because especially the little exchange with them back and forth about the
Yeah.
droid, my shit, my droid.
Because it was very
and-
Harrison Ford and Leia.
yeah, tit for tat kind of thing. But
I
it
don't-
wasn't.
I've had the thing that Ray and Kylo because of the insane sexual tension in the last movie
Yeah.
and the shirt off.
You like that shirt off, huh?
I just like him.
Yeah.
Well, they could possibly show up in future movies. They're just saying this is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they
I
might
mean, they
show
did
up.
definitely leave it open-ended for more adventures with Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Definitely.
Kathleen Kennedy at one time, of course, a lot of things have changed since then. Like from Obi-Wan working on becoming a movie and now a series, those kind of big dramatic changes have happened. But they actually talked about that those characters, the main three characters, would have like spin-off movies, like their own type, this
I
is what
don't-
they were doing. But I don't think that's going to
I
happen
was gonna
now.
say, I don't think these actors want to do this anymore.
No, I don't think so, or at least not to this extent.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine the strain? Everybody tells you anything you do is going to piss people off. Like the fan service in this movie, so many people are going to be pissed off about some of the fan service.
Oh yeah,
Which, do you want to run through the instances I feel like are fan service real quick?
sure.
Yes. Because you're gonna point them out easier than I can. So.
Let's see. There was a lot of Finn and Poe little undertone, like bro love. Like there's a lot, because there's a lot of people that want Finn and Poe to have a gay relationship, and so I feel like there was a lot of hidden undertones of
Yeah.
suck your dick later. No, not really, but
None of it was that extreme,
It
but
wasn't that extreme, but I picked up on that a little bit. Definitely the Rey and Kylo stuff that happened that we'll get to later.
yeah,
I feel like there was a lot of implementation of aliens and other life forms that are the old school looking Star Wars stuff that aren't CG. I feel like a lot of that was forcibly placed sometimes as fan service kind of thing.
like,
the
Ewoks.
that was,
The
and like the
Ewoks.
little like baby things in that festival.
Yeah.
Like those were all.
And just like
all
Oscar
practical.
Isaac, like walking past one and touching him to do like, hey, thanks for fixing this part of the shit. Like just little things like that.
Yeah.
That weren't, necessary, but they did it, which was nice. Those types of things. And yes, the Ewoks. There's a bunch of others that I'm forgetting at the moment.
Well, there's some things that we'll kind of talk about as we get to it. Like the lightsaber toss, but that's a little later on.
What about the lightsaber toss in her training where she threw it so far and then picked up a stick and still had the lightsaber come back?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's one of the times that they first hinted at, like, this bitch got more badass since last movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I feel like this is the first movie where she really started using the Force in her battle technique. Like, I don't feel like that was used at all in the second movie, and I feel like, I don't know, she just does a real good... Daisy really does a great Force grip. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that they stopped each other's lightsabers with the Force.
Yeah,
A
that's cool,
lot.
too.
That was really cool.
So she finishes training, and what happens after that? I forget.
Then they realized that they need
They
to.
got the intel.
They got the intel and realized they only have 16 hours.
something like that.
16
yeah.
hours to find a wayfinder and stop.
Yeah, they have to get to
Emperor.
the
Stop
to the Emperor
Palpatine.
before they start heading out to destroy them.
So
So,
they-
they go to the coordinates that
Luke
left.
left at the desert, and they find Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was Lando. As soon as he's like, "Come with me," kind of thing, and in his disguise or whatever, I was like, "That's fucking."
Yeah, Dave leaned over to me before he even took his helmet off. He's like, "You know who that is, right?"
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
Who is it? Yeah, that was awesome. And Rey could feel Kylo while they were in that desert.
Yeah.
Like, she can constantly feel him, and I think that, well, obviously it plays back to their duality or whatever
Right.
Emperor Palpatine calls them. What's it called? I forget. What's the word they use?
I'll get the exact word here in just a second. 'Cause I had it a second ago.
Oh man,
Besties.
BFFs. What was it, Logan?
It was.
Duality.
It is.
Twins.
Go ahead without me for a second, because I know it's like right here from where I was looking at it.
But yeah, they definitely had a connection,
Yep.
and
That's when he's fighting. No, he's not. What is he doing?
that was later. That was on the ship.
Well,
That
that,
was on the
This
ship.
was this
yeah.
was when we're on the planet, and
Yep.
he's
and then
he's-
that's when they took off because all the TIE fighters and shit showed up and they were trying to find that dude's ship. That
They
Rey's
and they
parents-
found him because they sunk in some quicksand, which
Yes.
I, for some reason, for like 2 seconds in my brain was like, "That's a was it called a
Sarlacc pit.
yes." I thought
Yeah.
for 2 seconds it was a Tarlac pit. I was like, "Oh my god, they just found a Tarlac pit."
But that the,
Dyad in the forest.
a dyad, yeah.
but that battle chase was awesome because
Oh,
you
yeah.
found out like all of a sudden stormtroopers are flying
Yes.
because they're like they
They
fly
fly
now.
now. They fly now.
I did hate that it was 3 times. 2 would have been enough.
Yeah.
They fly now.
I feel like some of the
They
humor
fly now?
was over exaggerated for
now.
the younger crowd.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is fine with me. I feel like Star Wars has done that previously. And then she healed the giant snake worm to show that she can do life force.
Which I thought was going to come back into play later. Like I
Like he
thought
was
the
gonna-
snake was going to like help them out.
I thought so too. I thought it
know?
would pop out of the sand and eat a flying, flying stormtrooper, but that
But
didn't happen.
he did. I mean, he was blocking the exit.
So that's why she did that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess
So-
it did.
Because
yeah,
what's
I
his
just-
name? Quasimodo's bones were in
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
Quasimodo's
Yeah. Kuto or I don't know.
Quiznos bones.
Quiznos.
Quiznos. I'm hungry for a sandwich now.
Gotta get me some bones.
Yeah, I thought we sure were going to see the sandworm again later, and it was going to munch
That's
somebody
alright.
and save somebody's life.
So they do find the ship that they're trying to leave on, and Rey recognizes it, but she can't place where she recognizes it yet. And then she feels Kylo,
I also found that Sith dagger.
and she goes, they
Yeah.
did find the Sith dagger.
Which that was actually part of one of those books, lore that they actually pulled out of and
Oh,
made
yeah?
it canon. Yeah, by doing that. So that's cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
And poor C-3PO. I cannot, I can't do C-3PO's voice, but she couldn't translate it for him. It's in his programming.
But they gave it away. You know, doesn't R2D2 have your backup programming? Yes, but he's so unreliable.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna come back.
Yep.
Yeah, and R2 is more reliable than a don't underestimate a droid. Or,
Yep.
Yeah, and then Ray felt Kylo again, so she just starts wandering off into the middle of the desert.
She's got, it's like a lamp to a light. She can't help herself.
Yeah.
She wants that big old daddy chest.
and then of course, they get everything's all ready to take off, so they have Chewie go out after.
Yeah,
And
go get her, Chewie.
Okay, so I'm going to
Chewie.
go ahead and preface this part with this is my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most definitely.
Which is the tug of war or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't Ren getting ready or Ray getting ready to run the relay race. Like I thought that was just a weird setup. I was like, why is she like waiting to run?
Because she knows what she has to do.
But you figured she could just stand there like. She's like, ready?
She wants him
Are you
to.
ready?
It's a trap, man. It's a trap.
she's assumed the position.
So Kylo's Knights of whatever, Knights of Ren,
Knights of Ren. Yep.
with their each individual badass helmet, cape, and or weapon,
Yep.
catch Chewie.
Yeah.
Chewie's trying to leave. I mean, Chewie's trying to leave. The ship that he's on is trying to leave, and Rey,
After she backflip destroys
after she backflip
Ren's
destroys
TIE fighter.
yeah, Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, she starts using the Force, and my mouth dropped because I was like, "Holy shit! Look at the amount of power that she has! Just, oh my god!" I remember. Do y'all remember the game that came out on PS3 and Xbox 360?
Force Unleashed.
The Force Unleashed,
Yes.
and he did that to a Star Destroyer.
Yep.
And in the game, it's like the best part of the game because it's nothing else has ever had this power before. And this is when they did it for they did it for Daisy Ridley in this movie, and Rey's power is just insane. But
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, well then, we're doing this now.
we're doing
this now. and then the whole Kylo Ren, I can't speak.
It's okay.
Gets out of the wreckage of his TIE fighter.
with his sullen, just
Just disappointed,
the
just like
disappointed emo child walk.
and he starts doing tug of war with it. Just like she's trying to pull it down, he's sitting here trying to push it away.
I don't think he's trying to push away. I think he's trying to pull it towards him. I think.
It looked like it at first, but then it kind of devolved.
See, I think that he was pulling it towards himself so that he had to push Ren to what she was about to do. But to do that, he had to hold Chewie hostage. He had to hold someone so close to her hostage. Like, I'm going to pull him to him, and I will pull him out of this ship, and I will watch you. You will watch me execute him in front of you.
To make
Like
her-
as soon as
to make
this
her
scene
angry.
started,
Yes.
To release her anger.
So then, you ready, Logan?
I mean, by all means, because once this tug of war started, I thought the ship was going to hit the ground.
I thought. Go ahead.
I thought it was going to crash and explode,
So
and I thought that was going to be the end of it.
I thought it was going to call back to the last movie when they did tug of war with the lightsaber, and the lightsaber cracked in half.
Oh yeah.
I thought the ship was just going to rip plain in two because of their dyad nature.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, Rey uses lightning.
Just force lightnings the entire fucking ship, and it explodes into bits.
With Chewie on
With
it.
Chewie on board.
That's the first time I saw you go.
I had
covered my
to.
mouth.
I had
Yeah.
to stop myself from audibly screaming no in the theater.
Yep.
Oh,
Like Vader. No.
More like, oh god, just
Well, the look on her
Insane.
face when she's just like,
the look on her face, the look on Kylo's face was better. She genuinely scared him, and that's the first time he ever showed that emotion in any of these movies.
Yeah.
He jumped and was genuinely afraid of her power, and he knew at that moment what she can do.
Yeah. Poor Chewie.
it's like
Oh my god.
at that moment, I feel he really truly understood that there's no lies, no bullshit from the Emperor.
I think he finally realized that he would not be able to beat her like he thought he could.
Yeah.
I think he realized that was the first person he's ever met that he couldn't destroy.
Right.
And I like the fact that since the last movie when Han and Luke both died, it wasn't like, oh, that's not Chewie, he's not really dead. When it happened, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Chewie's dead
they
now,
sold
too?
it. They sold
Yeah.
it. Because you were thinking like the original cast is just cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just think all of them are going to end up not there. Man, oh man, oh man. So, Finn's yelling, Chewie's on that ship. Chewie was on that ship, and
Was
Poe's so upset. I don't even remember where they go after that.
Why, you stuck up.
they go
half-witted,
to the
scruffy-looking
the
nerf
one
herder.
planet where he has
Could
his Spice Runner friends.
Kajimi?
Kajimi.
Yeah.
Kajima. Fuck, I don't remember.
So many weird names.
Bob's Planet.
Planet Genie.
They went back to the home base, and that's when she talked to Leia again and said she's going to go. I want your permission, but I'm
Right, right,
about
right.
it.
And Leia hugs her and says, "Don't be afraid of who you are."
Okay, yeah.
And that was major foreshadowing
Because she knew who she was.
because she knew who she
And so
was.
did so did
So did Luke.
Luke.
Yep. And then that's when they went to Kajimi.
Then they go to Kajimi.
Yep.
And
With Felicity, what's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They were there for all of 5 minutes and got a captain's medal to get past some barricades.
Like
Yep.
there I think there was a point where you stepped out during that planet.
Oh yes, I did.
So like there
yeah.
whenever because when they first get there on the planet, they're kind of like sneaking around trying to get to the place they're trying to go, and it's like the guards are everywhere. We can't get in there. Like there's
yeah, they keep
first order everywhere, and then
all these raids on everybody's houses and stuff looking for
they
people.
only said her name like once. That character you were just
Yeah.
talking about.
Zula? Was it Zula?
I think it was.
You only
Zula.
saw her eyes. I mean,
Zula,
the
Zola.
actress is
Something
beautiful.
with a Z.
But like her she jumped Poe, and of course then you get Poe's backstory of him actually being a spice runner,
Yeah.
and then of course they're all like, "You're a spice runner? You were a stormtrooper." I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
Spice
are you gonna
Runner
really
Captain?
judge me right now?
You were a scavenger. Come on.
Yeah, everyone's sitting there judging each other. It's like, okay, fine, let's just go.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Because they went there to get somebody to get C-3PO's
Decoded.
Memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be able to talk the Sith language that was on the blade.
Yeah, poor
That's why they went
C-3PO.
Yeah, and that scene from the trailer, which they showed I've seen it a dozen times now, and I freaking in the theater teared up. I'm like, it's okay, man. It's okay.
Yeah, that was
just one more look at my friends.
Oh.
So they find this cool little dude, Babu.
He was awesome.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a badass.
Yeah, so they get him all hooked up and get ready to
Get his
do
memory
a
wiped.
memory wipe so he can speak Sith or whatever. And
Yeah.
then David's sad scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sad.
Yeah.
And then Ray couldn't handle it, and she left. She walked outside.
She I guess she said it was on the ship or something. She had to get to the ship to.
Well, she stepped outside, and the first thing she could tell is she could sense Chewie. on
Chewie
the
was
ship.
alive. That's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
was.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, they staged this elaborate plan, used the metal to, like, basically be like, oh, yeah, we're authorized aboard.
Yeah, they went upon Kylo's main ship, and Kylo was down there looking for her.
Yep. And that was cool. The back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's why, like in the trailer, when you see them, like destroying the stand that Darth's helmet was on in the trailer, all made sense because they were actually Kylo wouldn't have done that, But
Right.
that was the giveaway because they were, I guess, they kind of joined together in certain parts, and they bleeds over into both of their realities, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, because
And
he went to the planet because he was like, I can feel she's close, and she didn't, or he didn't realize that Ray
It's
had
just-
went up to his ship
Yep.
at that point, so they missed each other, and then they're doing their force battle or whatever.
Yeah, she
and-
gets drawn to the room with the sword, the dagger in it, the Sith dagger,
Mm-hmm.
which is also the same room that Darth Vader's helmet is in. And she hears the whispers when she looks at it, and then takes the dagger, and then that's when they have their little reality.
Yeah, and
battle.
Kylo's keeps
That mind
asking,
link
"Where
thing.
are you?
And
Where are
then-
you at?"
Yeah, and he cuts one of the barrels of fruit, and that spills into the ship on the
Mhm.
the planet, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then they shatter Darth Vader's
Helmet
pil-
stand.
Yeah, the helmet stand. And then he knows.
Yeah, and he's like, he
That's
sees the
where
helmet,
you
and he's like, I know exactly where you are.
But he
So
says
that's
something.
where you are.
Yeah, he says something like, she asked him a question. He's like, "I'll just tell you."
Yeah,
Like, stay there and I'll come
I'll
tell
come
you.
tell you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
'Cause he was-
Because they're talking about like I know what happened to your
To
family.
your family.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Like I know who killed them. I know
And that's when he
your
tells her.
backstory.
Who she is.
Doctor, give me the news.
I got some bad case of loving you.
Oh goodness! Oh goodness! Yes, yes. So then we get we're on a ship. We're doing the rescue, and which you're and well on the ship too. They also fired up the before it got captured. They fired up the other little droid parts that were sitting around, and they have
Yeah.
The hair dryer.
Dio.
Conehead.
Dio, yeah.
Dio. So he's like Ronnie James Dio. It's awesome. But boy, he was just freaking adorable.
I loved him.
Yeah.
So she was like, "No, thank you."
No, thank you. He was mistreated.
Yeah.
He's a rescue droid.
He is.
Oh, he
He
was
is.
a rescue droid. Yep.
Rescue droid with good information later in the movie.
Yeah. The whole time we could ask you. Dope.
But it's there in the hangar when they're trying to leave the ship that he tells her about who she actually is, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because he's
yeah.
pushing her and pushing her and pushing her mentally, saying, you remember.
Yeah.
And that's when he tells her, I can't be the one to say it.
Yep. You don't want to be the one to say it?
I mean, I would say it. I will. She's a Palpatine.
That's right. Spoiler episode, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we all knew something was coming. That's why she was toying with the dark side so hard.
And it kind of gives credence to the whole like, well, you've barely trained. Why do you have all this power? I kind of like how they kind of address that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's true. It's like,
Well, and-
how do you have this much power? Well,
And a
she's
lot
got
of-
lineage.
And a lot of rumors were that it was a, what do you call it, a clone of this and a clone of that, and mixing of different
Yeah.
But thank God it wasn't that. It made actually more sense that it was, and I think better plot wise.
That she would be a lineage of a Palpatine. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was the whole rumor that she was like another type of Anakin where she was made by midichlorians or whatever.
Right.
But the Palpatine lineage makes way more sense.
Yeah, if it's the, it was still a shock though. Still kind of like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, I did another mouth grab.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course she's pissed. She's like, well, my granddad killed the family.
Yeah, and Kylo tries to make her take his hand again, and she like, why not just jump off the side of the ship?
Yeah, which was great. And then of course right into the
Right
Falcon.
into the Falcon.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
she
And they
was-
were low orbit, so they weren't in space because I know Tony was getting ready.
But Finn had a mask on.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Finn
might
did,
have.
yeah.
Okay.
Finn did.
Okay. All right. Well, I was thinking like when they're in the hangar and they're talking about it, and all the stormtroopers come circling them. For some reason, in my head, that reminded me of the Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the hangar.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, hey, that kind of
Kind of
kind of
throwback.
feels like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, they go where? I don't remember.
Well, they go back to they go back to the planet and figure out that they have to split up.
Back to Rebel Base.
Yeah, and then they have to. She wants to go alone, and they want to go with
Then
her.
they do the
We all
theme.
go
We go
together.
together.
And then they
Oh,
go.
They have to get that part. Remember, they still don't have the key to finding it.
Well,
way-
at that
the
point they've got
Wayfinder.
they still need to get the Wayfinder.
So
but
they go to-
they've got the sword and they've got the translation, so they go to Endor, which is where
Right.
the translation leads them.
One of Endor's moons.
Moons,
right?
Endor's
yeah.
moons, yeah.
Yep. So that's when that's where the Death Star, the Hulk of the Death Star, crashed into
What's
the
left
planet.
of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
super mega surfing wave planet.
There where we meet
Well, it was-
deserters. All the deserters of the First Order. Their ship, all of them didn't want to be in the First Order, so they live on this planet now, on this moon.
Yeah, with tusky mouth horses.
Tusky horses.
Yeah.
Pig tusk horse mix.
Yeah.
Man bear pig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
The whole skeleton of the Death Star, were y'all like, ooh?
Yeah, that was
like, it
crazy.
just kind of gave me
Oh, yeah.
chills. Like,
Especially whenever she stepped into the throne room and the
Yes,
theme kicked in, I'm just like, oh god!
yes.
And then the camera just pans, and then you see the throne and like the
and
blown
the
out.
broken window and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
That was some great fan service.
Yeah.
like literally, it's like you're standing where he stood.
Yep.
And then on top of that, like the whole wall opening, like it just like responded to her.
Yeah.
And just ooh,
Yeah. And that's when she saw her other vision
of
Would-
herself,
of herself.
which was awesome.
with the badass 2 saber that flipped into 1, which
Mm-hmm.
I also thought was going to come into play again later.
Yeah.
I know. I think I know which part you're
Yeah.
talking about.
With their like at the very end where they're all like sword locked, and then she like hisses at herself.
Yeah, that was really cool. And her teeth changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Almost wish there would have been a spin-off movie of an alternate reality. This is what would have happened if Rey turned Sith.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
I think she'd be an awesome Sith.
Yep.
I mean, she makes an awesome Jedi, but
It's like not to jump too far ahead, but she would probably make a good Empress.
Yeah. Well, and they were talking about another one of the theories was that because of that trailer and you see in that scene it was either a vision or it was they've cloned Rey and they've made an evil Rey, and that's what the Emperor's got serving him as his Padawan is an evil Rey.
evil version.
But that doors didn't pan out that way, which is good.
Good.
But
Yeah, I
still,
like
it
what
was.
happened.
There was a whole bunch of those. What do you
That
do?
was a hook. That was a hook. That
Yep.
was a hook to get
Oh,
all the
yeah.
trailer. Yeah, for sure. Man, so
Kylo shows up,
Kylo shows up.
and then a good battle.
Great battle.
Yeah.
Oof, when he's all rained on. and his hair's in his face.
Yeah. And then what's his face shows up to save his love.
Well, that battle though, can we talk about that battle? Because
Yup.
because you can see her progressively getting more and more angry, especially towards the end of the fight when she starts adapting his style to try and fight him. Like starts taking the sword
But-
backwards.
Yeah, and you can feel her not want it. She wants to give in to the anger, and she just wants to let go. So I felt that she wanted to just release it, and she
There's
couldn't.
so many death blows that are stopped by force pushes.
Yeah.
They're like literally 3 or 4 times they would have killed each other had they not caught.
Each other's sabers by
Yes.
the force. Yes. So then, Leia makes the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, and in the middle of their fight, just she uses the last of her strength to call out to Kylo to try and bring him back
You
one
mean
last time.
Ben,
But that was a force projection, right?
I think.
That's what I
probably.
took it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took the last of her strength to do it. And in that second, Rey had her opportunity, and she took it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just ran him through with his own lightsaber.
Yep. Yep. And then she
Like
he healed him.
She had to.
Like she realized what she had just done because I think she could also feel that presence. Like
Yeah.
that call out was kind of to both of them.
Well, I think she finally realizes in that moment that when they, like you said, catch each other's death blows with force and things of that type, I feel that both of them realize that they are each other's equal.
Yeah.
And that they are the dryad that they can feel, and that's why they can feel each other's presence all the time and have this duality and realities intermixing, because I think they both realize in that moment that they will not be able to defeat each other. And she knows that to get Kylo to die and Ben to be reborn, she has to kill Kylo
Yeah.
and heal his mother's sacrifice and her sacrifice of healing him. And I feel like it revives Ben's inner personality. And
Yeah. Yeah. And then who does he see?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
The first thing that made me fist pump.
Yeah. You're talking out of the corner of my eye, all I've seen is this.
Yeah, Daddy showed up. Han made another appearance, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, he said he'd never do another movie. No,
To
just
be
kidding.
fair, he was only in it for like a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah, but not even that long, I don't think. But
But it was such a pivotal
perfect,
scene.
Oh, yeah.
worked, and you needed it. You needed to see him face his father, and his father, it's okay.
Was that just his mind accepting? It wasn't really. Clearly, it wasn't really there.
Right.
No.
Because he wasn't a Force ghost or anything. Like, he wasn't
No, it
glowing.
wasn't a force ghost
Yeah,
or anything.
that, to me, that was that whole scene when he said, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the...
strong enough to
Yeah.
do it.
And he said, yeah, you do. To
Literally.
me, that was the title of the movie. That was the rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
That is when he came out of the darkness
Mm-hmm.
and became good at that point. So that was the rise of the last Skywalker.
Gotcha.
That's what I say. To me, that was the pivotal scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they called that line back though from Force Awakens, because that was the same thing he said to him right before he
died.
ran him through.
And there was that the scenes were shot the same, like him looking at him and holding his lightsaber to the side before he.
Like it literally, it's like
I almost thought he was just gonna do it again.
yeah. It's like part of me is like, oh,
Just do it
he
again.
could just do it again.
He could just still be.
He could just do it again.
But he
In
didn't.
some alternate timeline, he did.
But he didn't.
And then he chucked the coolest fucking lightsaber ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get it. You're dispensing of your previous identity, but it was also your greatest weapon.
Yeah.
I loved its raw power type feel and sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because
Yeah.
it was just had the unstable side blades.
But I feel like that was
It's a perfect picture of his persona.
Of his persona, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So-
it's like that instability
And that's when she took off to go back to the planet that
that Luke was.
Luke was on.
Hang
Yes.
on, go back real quick.
Yeah.
Because in that battle, he also says to her, "You have to turn." She had picked up the triangle navigation buoy, whatever, the Wayfinder.
Sith Wayfinder.
So when she picked it up, she felt that power and she got the vision. So that's when he said, "Now you've had a taste. You can't go back. You can't go back like I can't go back." Which is, I feel, the reason Kylo is so unstable past all of these other movies is because he has this internal want to return to the dark, to the good, the light side, the Jedi, but he can't because he's held by this,
Belief.
this thing. If I could say, a force.
That you could.
And
Yep.
I feel like she struggles with that too, and that's why all their death blows were caught and whatnot, because they could. Yeah. Anyway, carry on, Dave.
But no, you're right. Yeah, and then of course so she gets to the planet and she's like, decides to chuck the lightsaber.
Was that the planet that was called Icicle or Eczema?
No.
Or...
This
No.
is the one Luke lived on.
Yeah.
With
The,
the
Because
the one that you're talking
it
about
had
is
the-
the Sith homeworld.
It had the porg on it. Remember?
The little
Chewie
birds.
snack food.
Yeah.
Where they looked at him like, "Don't eat me." Yep.
Yes. And she throws the lightsaber.
Tries.
Right,
Throw
yeah.
the lightsaber.
Internally, everyone in the movie theater, I could feel everybody being like, "Bitch, no!
Don't destroy that lightsaber.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's my childhood."
Yep. And then and I think that was another fan service, was his line, because the last movie a lot of people were upset when she hands him the lightsaber and he kind of throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
In the Last Jedi, like doink, like it was nothing.
Yep.
And so this time he catches it and he's like,
The saber deserves more respect than that.
yeah. It's like, huh. Really?
Came around. But he even said he was wrong. She said, "I came here to escape like you did," and he said, "I was wrong."
Yeah.
He knows now.
Yep.
Just took this long, Luke. So he tells her she has to.
Took you to die.
Oh, he gives her the
Leia's
hidden
lightsaber.
Leia's.
lightsaber we had no idea about.
Yeah. And then we see the little backstory, which also had the CGI
Young Luke and young Leia.
and young Leia.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they did both of them at the same time in that scene that it was like almost acceptable for them to do that, because she didn't have any speaking part.
No, I thought it was
Yeah.
very well done.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
it looked very good, and you cannot do it any other way. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved Leia's saber. It was delicate looking and had those copper tones to it. I thought it was cool.
Yes. Very much so. So yeah, so she has, but and again, it's like he threw his saber away. Huh, now Rey just happens to have two now.
Yeah.
See, and that's where I thought the cool dual thing was going to come in. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was
like
oh,
connect them
she's got
together.
2 now, so now she's going to have a
She's gonna have the
double-ended
double
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul
fucking-
Jedi version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she's stuck on planet Blue Milk or whatever. And whatever the hell it is.
Well, no, and that's when Luke, as a Force ghost,
Yep.
right? You know what he couldn't do
He's like,
when
you have-
Yoda was training him
Yeah.
to lift the
On Dagobah.
Yeah.
to lift his X-wing out of the water.
Yeah, because she's
Bring
like,
it
I
ashore.
destroyed Kylo's
Kylo's
ship.
ship.
He's like, you have everything you need here. And
Yeah.
then the X-Wing fighter pops out of the water.
X-Wing.
And then
X-Wing
since
time.
of course Kylo broke the Sith Wayfinder that she had found
Yeah,
on the Endor's moon, she just used his.
yeah, because theirs was 2, which
And then
made sense.
she started transmitting to all the rest of the rebels, you know, basically like follow this.
Follow this coordinate.
Yeah, it can't be. This Luke's ship.
But in the meantime, C-3PO gets his memory restored by
Oh, yeah.
R2-D2.
Yep. Yeah, he gets the reboot.
He says, "Hi, I'm through C-3PO," and R2's like, "I'm your best friend, dumbass.
My best friend.
You
What
want
do
to put
mean?
what in my brain?"
Cut to the scene. It's just
Yeah.
stabbed into him,
Yeah.
rebooting him. And I love he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy I get to go with Rey on her first mission." It's like, what do you mean I already went?
See, that's why you need to back up more often, kids. Back up often.
Yes, or
That's
just
it.
upload to
keep
the
keep
cloud
two or
constantly.
3 backups.
Exactly. Why wouldn't C-3PO in the cloud? That's it. Oh, jeez. All right, so we're coming down to the big finale. So,
It was good.
yeah, man.
They all. I thought in the beginning when Kylo was flying through that, what do they call it? The unknown lands or the
Yes.
Unknown space.
unknown space area. That was cool. It looked kind of like a real dense galaxy kind of thing. That it was. I just thought that was real cool when they were
Yep.
flying through that.
Because they mentioned in the coordinates, it's like, this doesn't make sense. There's wormholes. There's just unknown space. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Undocumented space.
Yeah. And that's actually been lore, I guess, for a long time.
Yeah.
They've used in Star Wars. Almost said Star Trek. Damn you, Tony Brown. That's
I'm
Tony's fault.
gonna have to get up from over here and come back there.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah,
So Rey flies the X-wing to where Palpatine is. She basically just follows her nose.
And then goes to. You said the name of it. They said it so many times.
Icicle.
But
Icicle, Exicle, Exima,
Exicle.
Exicle sounds right.
Escobar. It sounded different
like,
every time.
It's like EXIGAL, Exicle, I think.
Brand new Pokemon.
Speaking of Pokemon, oh, never mind. So anyway, yeah, but that she's heading to the planet. She's heading right to Palpatine. She's ready to face him, and then Kylo, he's got to be skirting his way there.
At least that's what we assume.
Yeah,
every time.
and then Billy D. Williams, Lando. I'm gonna go get help and get everybody that we can. I'm gonna make some announcements and put out the call for everybody to come make the final stand.
The Skywalker symbol
Yeah,
displayed in
because
space.
Poe figured out that they can't leave the atmosphere without some kind of magnetic.
They have to shoot
device or
down the
something?
towers, the
Yeah.
navigation towers. They can't
Yeah.
leave.
Because there's
So
so
they-
much magnetic interference in the atmosphere of
Yeah.
Exicle that they can't. Their computers can't tell which way is up
Yeah.
without assistance.
Yeah, so easy peasy. They're gonna go in, shoot down this tower. None of the starship destroyers are gonna be able to leave the atmosphere. And
Yeah,
last second, the bad guys are like, "Nah, we're just gonna shut that down."
yeah. What they did is they pulled the I guess what it was doing, and they brought it back to the main ship. So
Yep.
it was like, okay, now we're gonna.
Because that main ship was still grounded, so they could use it as a point of reference.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So the resistance was like, "Oh fuck, what do we do now?"
Yeah. Well,
Well, let's blow that up.
they decide they're going to try and shoot all of the underbelly lasers to try and alleviate all the planet killers they can.
Oh yeah, because they killed Kojima.
Yep.
Yeah, with the belly laser.
yeah, and that was the planet where he had done his spice trading on, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his
So-
girlfriend was there.
Yeah.
Well,
or his lady
Sort of
friend was.
girlfriend.
he wants to be.
Right. So did y'all get chills when Rey went to find Palpatine and she just hears like thousands of Sith followers just cheering.
Chanting,
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where like I didn't realize until after they started talking,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
panned. It's like, oh wait, that's not wall like texture. That's all people standing there. I was like, oh shit.
It's a coronation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oof. Can you just imagine the overwhelming feeling she has? Like, she has all these deep down unresolved emotions that are just all this trauma's welling to the surface, and she's got all this anger and rage and all of these people chanting, and just this is, I'm sure there's all these tiny voices in her head like, this is your destiny, just do it. And
Just
she's
like
got
I can command
all of this. It's right there. Just the
All I got to do is
She-
poke my dickhead grandpa in the eye with my saber.
yeah, it just I guess just genuinely deep down there's that hope and that light in there, and it had to overcome, and just the internal struggle that must have been in that character's mind at the time. I just can't comprehend.
That was insane.
There was a part that I thought that she's gonna take on.
Gonna turn
She's gonna turn
and
so that Kylo can kill her
yep, that's what I thought for a
to
second.
end it.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, oh hell,
Or vice
because
versa.
everybody be like, oh shit, yeah,
For some reason, I thought there for a second when he's trying to sneak in, and the Sith battlemen are fighting him, and he can't get to her fast enough, and Emperor Palpatine is pulling her forward, and sit down, Empress kind of thing, and she's
going along with the
she's
motions.
going along with the motions because she can feel Kylo off to her side, and as she walks forward, they do that little duality, dyad
yep,
reality
Because
thing.
he's trying to fight the
Take
best
this
he can.
lightsaber.
I thought that in that moment that somehow, because the realities are blurred and so many things were cut, and like how the Vader helmet fell, I thought that somehow he would take her position inside of her body in the reality, and like him be the killer,
Been awesome.
and then her have to kill
I
him.
didn't even think about
That's
that.
what I thought was happening in that moment,
That would've
which was
been
pretty
awesome.
fucking sweet. And it, ended up doing the surprise of the lightsaber disappearing was even better for me.
And
Oh, yeah.
I love that little just huh.
I got a lightsaber now, motherfucker.
And him just ninjaing around, and he does his signature Kylo behind the back, but without his. I feel like he did it, and he went
Because he didn't have his guard.
because he didn't have his guards.
yeah. Well, and that and I mean, they all step back as soon as he has that lightsaber. They're all like, "Whoa, hold up!"
Yeah, it's so funny watching him trying to maneuver with just a blaster, and it's like, no, bruh, you're a barbarian with a sword, not an archer, not a range character.
Just him just flipping over that one dude and just like let me just grab your shoulders, spin around, and just run you through and throw you to the side like you're a rag doll.
I mean, Adam Driver's a huge dude, anyways, and he bulked up big time for these movies. So
Yeah.
he probably could actually do. I think he's probably something like 6'3" or 4". He's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a big boy, big Sith boy.
Gaze.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get to. Let's get to the actual ending.
Adam Driver podcast, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll run it.
I'm sure you thought it.
So, Emperor does the Dementor's kiss on them,
Yeah,
and he realizes that they're a dyad, and all of his skeleton fingers grow back.
yeah, because he just starts sucking the
The
force
life
out
force
of him.
right out of him. And Kylo does his ballsy move and stands up, and Palpatine kills him. Force throws him into a little void there on the planet.
Yeah, I think the quote was like something like along the lines of "I'll do to the last Skywalker what the previous Skywalker did to me,"
Yeah,
something like that,
along those lines.
Yeah.
and literally just hucks him down a pit.
And then when he does his super force lightning,
Oh, so cool. The noise it made, like it's almost the same noise that the ships made in the previous film, where Laura Dern shot the ship through the other
Oh,
ship.
yes.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
clashed in that second. It went black and white. I feel like it was the same effect and noise.
yeah, dropping the sound out. So
I love
impactful.
that. So impactful. I love it. And the bass in that movie theater made it sound so amazing. I got chills.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Just watching all the ships start stalling out because all their electronics were starting to fry. Just watching an entire fleet drop is just.
Yeah, and Rey lays there.
That's when I thought
Crying.
she was going
Crying.
to turn. I thought she was going to get up and be like, well, I
And-
have to sacrifice myself to
Yeah.
save my friends.
So, what does she? She
starts
she
calling
looks
out.
past the force lightning and sees into space or nothingness. I'm not sure which, but That's her final step to become the ultimate.
Please be with me, or be with me
Be
now.
with me.
Yeah,
Be
and
with
then
me.
and that's when you start hearing the voices of all the other Jedi.
Yep.
The Joker.
All the other
Yeah,
Jedi.
I could have sworn I heard like even like
I
like
didn't hear Sam.
Ahsoka from like I could have sworn I heard
Might
Ahsoka
have.
from like one of the Clone Wars show too. Like I was like, no way.
Did anyone hear Sam Jackson?
Yeah,
I did.
Mace,
I was
Mace
waiting for
Windu.
it.
Yes.
I
Yep.
did not hear
I
it.
was
kinda
waiting to
swore I
hear
did.
Mace.
I think so.
with you, motherfucker.
Not like that. I could have sworn I did hear him though.
It's a saber that says "bad motherfucker" on it.
That and,
Huh. Imagine who that's
His
for.
lightsaber actually does see BAF on it,
yeah.
or
BMF?
MF. I'm sorry. His lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's engraved on it
Yeah.
on his saber. That's awesome.
Nice.
So she gets all the other Jedis, and the Sith. The Emperor's like, "You can't beat me. I'm all of the Siths."
Yeah. And then she's just like,
she force grabs the second lightsaber to herself, cross guards with him. I'm all the Jedi.
Oh God!
Like some crazy DBZ power struggle here.
God, the dual saber. I love the dual saber. That's,
oh, yeah.
You know, she's got the staff, and in the vision she had the dual saber, but she did it in another way.
Yeah.
So-
So I thought, kind of like Anakin did when he cut the head off.
Of
Dooku.
Dooku.
Of Dooku.
Yeah.
No, that
I
was
thought
Obi-Wan. No,
No?
you're right.
Oh,
No,
it
you're
was
right.
Dooku.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan escaped from Dooku. That's right.
Yep. Good. But no. I thought
thinking-
that's what he might do.
I'm thinking of General Grievous because General Grievous is like my favorite.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 Man. So he's dead.
He's dead.
And he
Yep.
like poofs, like
Melted away.
just the lightning just poof, he's gone.
He blew him and obliterated him.
Just turned all of his power on him.
Poof.
And then all the Sith.
Do you think the Sith
Sadly
are really
gone.
gone? Like, how
No.
did he come back in the first place? I thought he was dead, and then just his life force.
To be fair, we never saw a body.
That's
Right?
okay.
We saw his
yeah.
body go down, but we didn't,
I think we kind of saw what happened to him this time. Unless,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, does it have to be a ritualistic killing for him to transfer into another body? Does it have to be? I mean,
Well, he made it sound like if he killed her, then all his power, him, was going to go into her.
Mm-hmm.
So she would almost would have become like a vessel.
Puppet. Yeah.
yeah, it's like one of those things. It's like, would she probably wouldn't even be herself then. It'd probably just be him controlling
Yeah.
her.
Yep.
So, is it just because it was all the Jedi power that like blew him away to bits and a little dust that it's just not going to work
I
this
think-
time? But I mean,
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe because it was his own power against him instead of Jedi power. She just reflected his power back at him
Yeah.
and obliterated him.
That's
Fair.
yeah, you're right because he
he killed
was,
himself technically.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just deflected it.
Yeah.
So
She forced
Fair enough.
so then she's like, but she exhausted herself like Luke did, and she
Yeah.
basically sacrificed herself.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She like almost
She-
died there for a
Oh,
second.
she did die.
Yeah.
She died.
She died.
Yeah.
So
And Kylo's like,
Kylo crawls out of the hole in the ground he's in.
sorry, like Pitt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, basically.
Sexy hand.
He
Broke leg.
broke leg, some sort of, I guess, probably broken ribs from being force pushed. And God, he's such a great actor. He gets when he's like on the verge of crying and just he's so amazing. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I feel it.
Just all of his facial features when he's going, he just shows the relay of emotions that someone would go through when they lose someone like that, and he portrays it so well. It just blows my mind how well he does it, and it made me feel so much of an emotion watching him grieve for her. And although he's never tried to do the life force technique, he takes everything out of himself, and somehow life force brings her back to life. Which, I mean, I took it as he was a force ghost, like he brought himself back as a force ghost out of that hole in the ground because
Yeah.
he faded away immediately. Or
Well, I think he survived the
I think
hole,
he did survive it
okay,
because
but then he sacrificed
he
himself for
used
her.
all of his life to bring her
because
back.
even like whenever she killed the snake earlier, she even like seemed a little exhausted and was like, I just used some of my life force for this.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was the talk he had with Han Solo, saying, "I know what I have to do. I just don't know if I can do it," because he knew he had to sacrifice himself.
saw
Knew he
that.
had- okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that's why he sat there for a minute, kind of almost teared up before he.
He knew he had to go.
And then, well, they kissed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he just fell over and disappeared.
I know so many people are going to hate that it happened, but I loved it.
I legitimately was sitting there thinking that's not gonna happen. It's like I'm sitting here in my mind. I'm like, now kiss, but it's not gonna happen. And then it did. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was really hoping that he would, hang on, and that they would
Get a moment.
Well,
That was their moment. That was it.
yeah. My personal preference is that they had both lived because they have this dyad nature and they could raise the grace. But
I thought because there was a constant thing about she kept saying that she saw him and her together on the throne. I thought they would wind up being on the throne of the rebellion,
yeah,
leading them
together. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I thought would happen
Yeah.
too. But this is fine too. Either way, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But now no more Adam Driver.
I'll just have to watch him in other things.
Yep.
And then celebration begins. Everybody goes back to wherever.
Well,
The Rebel base.
Rebel base.
And to wherever onward into the future, rebuilding the galaxy.
And then
well,
Poe and
can't
then-
miss the all important things though, like what you see
Fan
on
service.
Endor.
yeah, when they're flying away, and then Wicket's there, and he turns to the camera, and I was
Your little Ewoks
There's another one of
finally
those
coming to play.
Tony's fist bumps.
yep.
Yeah.
It was great.
I feel bad for those little guys, the little deformed Wookiees that just sit off on their own planet.
That is not what happened.
That is what they are. Ewoks are just malformed midget Wookiees. Yes. And you obviously see with the Christmas special that Wookiees don't give a shit about their family. Because they just go off space traveling and never see their family for like 100 years.
Hey, Life Day's coming up. Hey.
See?
Oh, about that.
So when, instead of,
Well,
raising, sick kids, they just send them off to this planet, and they're like, "Go figure it out yourself, you little weirdo."
Well, speaking of Chewie,
Shout out Chewie.
well, what did they, Leia left this for you?
He finally got his medal.
Yeah.
They finally redeemed the fact that he never got his medal.
The entire trilogy that they just did was all just to get
Chewie
Chewie
a
his
medal.
medal.
Exactly.
Finally. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was a great movie, all. I
Yep.
mean, we
Super good.
just horribly described it for you because our brains are mush right now from
Yeah.
reliving,
So
trying to relive
many
it.
emotions.
I hardly wait to see it again.
I mean, that's not everything that happened, though. There is still
Oh.
one more scene.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, shit.
Talk about the
Mhm.
ending then. Go ahead.
Because after the celebration, it cuts to Tatooine, where Rey actually goes and visits is it Aunt Maru and Uncle Owen.
Yep.
Yeah, their old house where Luke grew up, and she goes and she buries Luke and Leia's lightsabers.
Like, buries
Buries them.
Deep down.
Uses the Force to shove him down
Shove
in
them
the
way down in the
And then
sand.
there's
Then
some
reveals.
creepy old lady with a dog camel.
Well, then she kind of reveals she does have her own lightsaber that she built.
Yes, which I believe was it gold?
I think it was.
gold?
If I
Yeah.
think it's actually parts from her staff that she's always had with her.
That's kind of what I thought too. I
That's
thought it was
what it
going to
was.
be the dual. Is that what you were thinking earlier in
Yeah.
the movie? I thought she was
because
going to have a
the
dual
top
gold.
looked like the bottom.
Yup.
And I was like, maybe the two swords are going to show up. And they didn't.
I guess she made one because she finally became a Jedi and she could make her own. Because isn't that one of the final steps to make your own lightsaber?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, she made her own.
And then of course we had the final Force ghost when
Leia.
she's like who are you?
Right.
And she's like, I'm Rey
And then she looks off in the distance.
Skywalker.
But like you said on the ride back, though, it
Yeah.
would have been way cooler if it would have been all the Jedis as Force ghosts, just
yeah.
if they'd having all
spread
of them.
out across the
Or
horizon.
even if they panned out again the second time afterwards, and then they were all there.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it was just little glimpses, but if you could have seen Obi-Wan and
why not
and
You know why they
Hayden
you know why they
Christensen.
couldn't do it? Because
What?
that would be a ripoff of Avatar.
Whatever.
Because you
Sorry.
do it in Avatar. Aang sees all of his past lives. So many pulls from Avatar in this show.
Oh my God, you're right.
But are you complaining?
No, because I love both.
you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
So there's no more Skywalkers by blood.
It's okay.
No more Skywalker.
They even said in the movie that, I don't remember the exact quote, something about your family doesn't have to be blood or something to
Yeah.
that effect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, y'all,
Family's more than blood.
gotta go watch it.
It
Yeah.
was awesome. Go see it.
Fantastic.
You'll enjoy it. And everybody that complained about them, fuck you.
Like I was super worried because I was iffy on Last Jedi. I'll admit, I was iffy on it,
Yeah.
and I feel this redeemed
Yeah,
that movie.
I do too.
And
And
Little
that,
fan service
and
for
that
sure.
stupid casino scene.
Yeah.
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 I feel this redeemed the movie, and if you didn't like the Last Jedi, you probably should go see Rise of Skywalker. I feel it'll probably make the whole package as a whole be better.
Yeah.
And there will be movies again someday at some point.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully they'll give it a few years to
To settle down.
Yeah.
simmer.
and maybe hopefully they'll do, and they can go way back to the back. They can go where it all started.
They're building
give
up
me
to a
Old
Yoda
Republic.
movie.
No, I don't know that.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's like just give
We
me
won't discuss any of that.
give me my Obi-Wan series whenever that finally comes out, and then
Yep.
afterwards give me some Old Republic something.
Exactly, the Old Republic.
Please.
That's where I think that's where they have such fertile ground. Because if you want to talk about the Jedi and the Sith, and you really want to dig into the lore of how it all started, oh my gosh, there's so much to pull from in battles and stuff. You're like, oh, I want to see this one. You could see tons of it and still be, because it
And only
happens
scratch the
thousands
surface.
of
Oh, yeah.
years before our current crop of people. There won't be any Skywalkers or any of that kind of stuff.
Skywalker.
No Skywalkers. Yeah, no
Nobody wants
Skywalkers.
to hear about your skywacking.
Well, oh, anyway. All right, then. Anyway, I need to get my lightsaber out.
Oh, God.
So, okay. So,
Hey.
wait, put that thing
My,
away.
yeah.
Hey,
Put your
now.
eye out with that.
Yeah, don't pan that
Put your
camera.
eye out.
Oh, jeez.
You
Well,
guys-
guys, I think we pretty much wrapped it up. Don't you?
Yeah.
I think we
Go watch it. Take your family for Christmas. It's amazing.
exactly.
You get to see Wicked again.
See Wicked. Yeah, heck yeah. Exactly.
And he's looking at the camera being like, why, Chewie? Why'd you leave me?
We're still here.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here and for you guys watching and being a part of it. And we had a great time, and I hope you guys did too. And we got lots more things to come. There's lots more Star Wars in the future with the TV series, and there's 3 series in production right now. So, and Mandalorian season 2 is gonna be is filming right now. So yeah. So there's lots of great Star Wars still to come. So, and yeah, so pretty awesome. And thank you guys for joining us. And don't forget to check us out on our website, outbreakpodcast@gmail.com is our email address. And then outbreakpodcast.com is our website where you can get links and show notes and all kinds of good stuff.
Hit the like
And,
button, the subscribe button, the bell that shows you all the notifications.
Yep.
Send Dave an email.
Exactly. Yeah.
Send me an email.
Exactly.
Somebody.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, man. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Thanks, Logan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deandra.
Thank
you
you,
guys
guys.
are awesome.
All
Good
right.
times. All right. Wave,
Bye.
guys. See ya.